Hello, and welcome to A Year in Review with your hosts, Megan, Charlotte, and Stephanie. I'm Megan, and I'm going to give you a rundown on the big things that happened in sports, entertainment, and music in this past year. Sports had a lot of monumental events, and one of those being that Babe Ruth hit his 714th home run. The game took place at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh on May 25th, a home game for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Boston Braves. Although Babe Ruth did hit a home run, the Pirates, with 11 runs, took home the win for that game against the Boston Braves, who had 7 runs. Another big event in sports was the first ever Sugar Bowl. The Temple Owls vs. Tulane Green Wave played in New Orleans with a crowd of 22,206 people. A highlight from that game is when Tulane's quarterback, John McDaniel, caught the Temple kickoff and then ran right to draw the other team's tacklers, and then he threw a lateral pass to his teammate Monk Simmons, who then proceeded to run 74 yards to score a touchdown, leading the team to a victory over the Owls. The final score was 20-14, Tulane with the win. What a memorable game. Now on to the entertainment news. The 8th Academy Awards, hosted at the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles, California, had some pretty remarkable moments. The host of the show was Irvin S. Cobb, and many people were very pleased with having him as the host. Some highlights from the night include Frank Capra's romantic comedy It Happened One Night won in the top 5 award categories for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay. Clark Gable, who played the role of Peter Warren in It Happened One Night, won Best Actor, and Claudette Colbert won Best Actress as Ellie Andrews in It Happened One Night. Needless to say, it was a huge night for the film It Happened One Night. Also, Shirley Temple took home the special award for her appearance in Bright Eyes. Now I'm going to play a short clip from that film. So here is Shirley Temple in Bright Eyes.
I've thrown away my toys, even my drum and train. I want to make some noise with real life aeroplanes. Someday I'm going to fly. I'll be a pilot too. And when I do, how would you like to be my crew?
Okay, and finally, for the music part of this segment, one of the most popular songs of 1935 was Cheek to Cheek by Fred Astaire. It was on the U.S. Billboard 1 for 18 weeks. The song was written by Irving Berlin and was sung by Fred Astaire. It is about how great it feels to be dancing really close to someone you really like and how you don't ever want that moment to end. It was also featured in the Astaire Brothers movie Top Hat. Here is a little clip of the song for our listeners.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly see, and I seem to find the happiness I see.
Thank you for listening. I'm Megan, and I am signing off. Over to you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Megan. And now for national news. The year was full of momentous occasions. On April 14th, now commonly known as Black Sunday, sandstorms ravaged the land all across the southern plains, creating the Dust Bowl. This huge drought destroyed farmland, forcing roughly 1/3 of the farmers to travel west in search of better land. At the White House, Roosevelt opened the second phase of his New Deal, calling for farm assistance, better housing, equitable taxation, and Social Security, which we'll get to later on in the program. And it was this year, on January 11th, that our very own Amelia Earhart flew solo from Honolulu, Hawaii to Oakland, California, the first person to ever make that flight. 1935 was quite a year for America. And now for your 1935 business report. Federal spending reached $6.41 billion. The consumer price index was at 13.7, and the rate of unemployment was as high as 20.1%. Helping to lower the unemployment rate was the Hoover Dam project, which was completed this year. It created jobs for over 21,000 men and families. And the Social Security Act was passed, giving money to the retired, disabled, and unemployed. Though unemployment remains high, this act is sure to help many in need. Finally, it was this year that Huey Long was assassinated in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. For those of you that don't know, Huey was the socialist candidate running for president of these United States. Mr. Long was in Baton Rouge for a special session of the Louisiana legislature when a man by the name of Carl Weiss approached Huey in a corridor and shot him in the abdomen. Huey managed to escape to safety, but passed away 2 days later in a nearby hospital. And that's all for me tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, we have a short commercial break, and later, Charlotte with international news, and then a word from the president. Stay tuned, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, Stephanie and Megan. Today I'm going to give you guys a glimpse of what happened this year with the new products and movies that came out, the speech from the president after Pearl Harbor, and the invasion of Ethiopia causing a need for peace. Have you heard about the new Pontiac? It's so stylish and has a very high performance rating. And on top of that, it's insulated better than ever before. The noise of the engine sure has gone down. Here's a clip of the commercial from earlier today.
Pontiac Motor Company tells me that the new cars are having the greatest reception in Pontiac history. I knew they would. Anyone could see that cars offering so much for such low prices would take America by storm.
Now let's take a look at the new toy that every child wants. It's a train from Lionel Train Company that has more detail than ever. It even has a new steam whistle. The movies that came out this year were monumental. Shirley Temple starred in another movie this year, Curly Top. It's getting rave reviews from critics all over the country. She even introduced her new song, Animal Crackers in My Soup, in the movie. Here's a new clip of it now.
Animal crackers in my soup, most of them rabbits do salute. Gosh, oh gee, but I have fun swallowing animals one by one.
Wow, that was amazing. Now let's talk about FDR's speech after Pearl Harbor. The day after the attack, our president came on the radio and gave a speech to the whole nation. The president did not know much of why this attack happened, but he assured the American people that we would come out with a win against Japan. Lastly, Benito Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, causing a disrupt in the daily lives of these citizens. Italy is not covered under the arms embargo, causing Roosevelt to ask Mussolini to preserve the peace. Thank you all for listening to A Year in Review. Charlotte, Megan, and Stephanie signing off and wishing you a very happy new year.